So you may be thinking about starting your weight loss journey, finally. You may be thinking about making the gym part of your routine, finally. You may be even thinking about venturing into the world of business and starting your own business. Amazing. So you have this goal now, and you understand that to achieve goals, you have to take action. So you know what? You say today's the day. You sit down to do some work, to start making some headway to your goals. But then something hits you in the head. You know what? I don't think I'm ready yet. Maybe I should start tomorrow. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I should start tomorrow. I still need to do some research. I'm not too sure yet. I'll leave it to the future version of myself, the more capable version who's going to wake up tomorrow and probably say the same shit. What you're facing right there is resistance, the insidious force keeping you from achieving your goals. No one is exempt from resistance, not a single person. I feel resistance right now making this video. I don't want to be here. Like, I'd rather be home right now, eating food, chilling. But I know if I listen to the resistance, I won't ever be able to overcome it. So I'm going to sit here and record this video. And just know, if you let resistance rule your life, you will never achieve your goals. Never. So let's begin. Understanding the enemy. Before we can even begin to tackle or overcome resistance, we must first understand the enemy. The enemy being resistance itself. You must uncover the deeper layers of the enemy. You must think, okay, how does the enemy operate? What is their ultimate plan? What are their weaknesses? What do they even want from me? That is how you start breaking down the force and just understanding parts of it to find the weaknesses and outmaneuver and out combat the enemy. That's the only way. This is the first step. You must first understand the enemy. And this is one of the most important steps of anything. And this is what resistance does to you. This is what it's been doing to you for such a long time. It has understood you inside out. It knows how you operate. It knows what your plans are, and it knows your weaknesses. It knows your insecurities. Your brain knows you the best out of everyone on the entire planet. Your brain knows you the best. Is that a true statement? Yes or no? Yes, it is, because it has literally made you delay the work for years on end when you yourself said, this is a goal I want to achieve. And your brain has just talked you out of it every single time to this day. Your brain can convince you of anything. It can rationalize anything. It can rationalize you delaying the work till tomorrow and then repeating that for weeks on end. It can continue doing that. That is how overpowered and evil this force is. Origin of resistance. This is just me trying to explain how resistance even came about in humans and why it's there. Your brain's only goal is to survive and reproduce. You must first understand and accept this. It's been like that since the start of time, and it'll probably continue like that for a while. Evolution takes time. The goal is to keep you safe so that you are alive and then you can go and reproduce. You'll understand why I'm bringing this up in a second, very soon. The brain has been designed and has evolved to reserve energy for survival. So when you think back to hunter and gatherer times, the main objective for the hunter was to reserve their energy, the food that they've eaten, reserve that energy so they can go and hunt More food, and eat that food, and then do the same thing again and again. The main thing was reserving energy to carry out the task for the day so that they can survive and reproduce. That's it. Another reason was when faced with imminent threats or dangers, they had enough energy to get the hell out of there, to survive and reproduce. So the main goal is to make efficient use of the energy you have because they had limited energy. It was difficult to find food and you could go hungry with little to no energy. And that came over everything else. That was the main goal. So you need to understand that making efficient use of your energy comes over your goals and everything else. So this is why exerting energy to exercise or adhering to a diet will always result in the accumulation of resistance. Or doing anything cognitively challenging will always result in the buildup of friction and resistance. You must accept this right now. Accept this law of the universe to make progress. If you do not accept that resistance will always be there, you will not make any progress towards your goals. So the sooner you can accept it, the sooner you can move on. And this is just a side note, but I just thought about this. Your ancestors literally had it a million times worse than you have it right now. You can't even comprehend the trials and tribulations they must have went through, the trauma they must have experienced, the emotions they must have went through on a daily basis. Feeling resistance, anxiety, fear, depression, sadness, everything. And they couldn't even put labels towards those emotions. We can label emotions these days. They didn't even have labels for the emotions. They just felt the raw emotion and had to carry on anyway. And you need to realize they did not have access to the books and resources you have today. Not even your grandparents, not even your parents. They did not have access to the books and resources you have today. You literally have access to the best minds on the planet for free. You can go online and research a specific topic for free. You can understand why humans think a certain way, why resistance exists, why anxiety exists, and how to battle with those thoughts and feelings and emotions. We're so privileged. This was just a side note, but genuinely, make use of the resources that we have. We're so lucky to be alive at a time like this. We can literally look at all the emotions a human faces and gain information on why people feel like that, how to overcome it. Every single thing you can think of, you can find on online right now. So make use of that. So, what is the ultimate goal of resistance? It's as simple as this: keep you exactly where you are, doing what you've been doing for as long as possible. So, basically, keep you as comfortable as possible. And it is amazing at doing that. Overpowered. Resistance, it's amazing at what it can do to you. You can feel so motivated and ready to accomplish something, and literally 10 minutes later you could be dropping everything and going home. That is how effective resistance is. That is how powerful resistance is, and you need to understand it to overcome it. Resistance does not discriminate. I talked about this before, but every single human, living or dead, is either facing resistance right now or has faced this enemy every single day. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are, how successful or unsuccessful you are. It does not matter. Resistance is in everyone's life. So whenever you look up to someone now and you see, wow, they've got a perfect life, they were able to do this flawlessly, they're so disciplined, they must never have a negative emotion in their mind. That's all bullshit. They have resistance all the time. They may have worse resistance than you, but the difference between you and them is They've understood that they must act regardless. They acknowledge the resistance exists, but they still take action. A goal can never exist without resistance. Any goal, no matter how small or large, it cannot even exist without the presence of resistance. If it did, it would not be labeled as a goal. The reason why goals and achievement is so attractive in the first place is because of the resistance, suffering, and pain you must go through to achieve that goal. No one would want to achieve certain things if there was no suffering and pain tied to it. No one would even respect it. So be happy knowing that the path you're taking has resistance. That is a good sign. That is a great sign. Continue down that path. That is not a sign for you to divert and take another path. Because guess what? The other path you take will still have resistance either way. It will still have resistance. So think about it logically. If each path has resistance, how are you going to make progress? By still taking the action anyway, despite the resistance. That is the only way you will move forward towards your goals. I am when I was facing a lot of resistance in my life with my health and my fitness and just my mental health overall. I had a lot of negative emotions that were thrown my way. I don't know why I said thrown my way, but I had a lot of negative emotions, and I failed to realize that every single one of them was resistance disguised as something else. And I just want to run through a couple that I thought of when I was going through this trying time. Maybe you can relate. Maybe there's some in here that you feel as well, that you think of. But just know that a majority of the thoughts you have, it is just resistance in disguise. Resistance umbrellas all of these thoughts and feelings. Can I ever get back to my old self? So I used to be in shape, but then I got out of shape. And self-doubt came in, and I failed to realize that resistance is disguising itself as self-doubt. And I just delayed the action because of it. I need to do some research before starting this journey. The amount of time people say this is a huge one, especially in the health and fitness industry. People want to start taking action. They want to start a new diet. But you know what? Let's do some more research. I don't think this is the right way. I don't think this diet's for me. I just need to do some more research. Yeah, you can keep telling yourself that. That's what I kept telling myself. And I delayed action again. Resistance. I need to sort some other things out first. If health and fitness was a priority, shouldn't I sort that out first instead of other things? And that just led to more delay. Delayed action again. Resistance telling me that everything needs to be perfect. Perfectionism. If nothing's perfect, if everything must be in order before I can go ahead and start. Resistance. I'm too busy. I'll start when I have more time. Can you tell the future? Genuine question. Can you tell the future? No, you can't. I couldn't either. How do I know that the future would allow me more time? How do I know that? I didn't. And I still made excuses like that. Guess what it was? Resistance. I won't be able to lift the same weights that I used to. The same thing as self doubt again. Self doubt arising in different ways. It'll give you different stories. It'll keep feeding you different stories. It'll try and disguise itself. But you must remember that this is just resistance. And you just labeling it as resistance can help you overcome it so much easier because you can just catch yourself thinking all these different thoughts and think, oh, no, no, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that. No, 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 no. Resistance. I need to try out a few gyms before deciding. This is a stupid one. because I knew which gym I wanted to go to. And this was another cope, just delaying action again, just seeing how far I could take it. Resistance again. I'm addicted to junk food. Let me fix that first. Delaying action again, using an addiction to cope. It didn't work. To fix the junk food addiction, guess what? I had to take action. Resistance again. I won't be able to make the transformation. Self doubt, thinking that I'm not good enough, negative thoughts arising in my head all the time, telling me, no, you can't do it. And it was just resistance. That evil, evil force. You need to start demonizing that force. Anytime it enters your mind, demonize it. Stop treating it like a friend. Stop clinging onto resistance just because it makes you feel comfortable, just because it convinces you to delay action, and then you think, you know what, maybe this thing is on my side. It is a good friend. Like, it's looking out for me. It's telling me to start tomorrow because I'll have the right information tomorrow. It's a friend. It's looking out for me. No, no, no. It's not. Demonize it for what it is. It is a disease. Resistance is the enemy. It is not your friend. It may seem like it has your best interest at mind, but it is the complete opposite. Complete opposite. This is what I used to do a lot, and I had to snap out of it. Whenever a negative thought would enter my mind, disguised as resistance, I would then invite it into my house, into my mind. I would tell the negative thought to sit down, have a seat in my sofa, my spot in the sofa, sit down, and then I would get some food for the negative thought. I would feed the negative thought. I would even put the TV on and ask the thought, what would you like to watch on TV? Let me put on Netflix right now for you. What show would you like to watch? Better Call Saul? No problem. Let me put it on for you right now. I kept feeding the negative thought. I kept accommodating for it. I kept treating it like a friend. It was never a friend. Next time these types of thoughts disguised as resistance, if they come to your house, they come to your mind, don't even open the door. Don't even let them in. It's an evil force. Keep it out. Please remember this. The main goal of this evil entity is to keep you exactly where you are in life and keep you comfortable. Does that sound like a good friend that you want around? Genuinely ask yourself. Just because it makes you feel comfortable, is comfort good for you? Really think about it. Is comfort going to help you grow in any aspect, any area of life? Has comfort ever allowed anyone to grow? No. So if resistance is giving you the comfort that you need, how is it a good friend? How is it a thing that you can rely on? This enemy has literally been manufactured inside of you by you, and it will always be present. And you cannot dictate when this enemy appears. It may always be there to some extent. If you take anything away from this video, it should be this. Resistance will be there all the time. All the time. No matter how small the task is, no matter how big the task is, there will be some resistance there. Always. So just accept that. The enemy will be there, but you can still overcome and defeat the enemy. It really is all in your head. What I mean by that is the resistance goes on between your ears in your mind. You think about how hard the task is that you've been delaying for a while. It's all in your mind. You're thinking, "Oh, okay, I'll have to do this, I'll have to do that, I'll have to do that. That's going to be difficult." But the resistance is being generated by you. The thoughts that you're attaching to the task is where the resistance occurs. It's literally the story you're making up in your head which creates the friction and resistance. You need to understand that. It's not the task that creates the resistance. It's your brain that manufactures the resistance around the task. So the actions you need to do, the inputs, the daily tasks that you need to do, is not where the resistance is. The resistance arises because of the contextual setting of those actions. Because it's tied towards a deeper goal, you feel a different way about those actions because you know there's so much on the line, so to say. It's tied to this goal. So, hmm, it must be difficult. It's all in your head. It really just is in your head. It's the stories that you keep telling yourself. The objective actions solely are not where the resistance lies. It's the perception of those actions that are filtered through your mind. Read that again and actually try to understand what I'm saying there. You are creating this resistance with the narrative and story that you keep telling yourself about these certain actions and tasks that you need to do. And I'll go into examples in the next slide, but just keep that in mind. What can I even do? What can I do about this resistance thing, man? Like, you keep telling me it's a demon. You keep telling me it's evil. What can I even do about it? Start viewing the actions you resist for what they are, not who you are. Break it down. So you want to detach yourself entirely from the action. So I'll give you an example. To get in shape, I must walk into the gym, lift things up, and put them back down. Detach yourself and just see the actions for what they are. You go into the gym, you're going to lift some weights, you just put them back down, you do set some reps, and that's it. You walk out of there. And then you could also say this about cardio. For cardio, I just need to put one foot in front of the other for a certain amount of time. Just see the action for what it is. With my diet, I just need to sit down at the table and chew pieces of material that are made up of calories and don't chew too many of them to stay in a calorie deficit. You're just seeing the action for what it is. You're detaching it. You're detaching yourself from the action. This can be very beneficial. I've found myself doing this for a lot of tasks throughout the day, and it genuinely works. It breaks you out of that negative thought pattern instantly, and you can just do the action. Just put the work in without attaching it to the deeper goal. And then resistance starts building, and then you think, no, maybe I should do it like this. Then you start going down the perfectionism route. Then you start doubting. Stop doing all of that. Just detach yourself and see the actions for what they are. And I just want to end with these points. Just take these points with you home. A goal can never exist without resistance. Understand that. If you have a goal, resistance will be there. Accept that. Move on. Say to yourself, yes, I've got big goals and I will be faced with a lot of resistance and suffering and pain and friction. That's okay. I understand that is the cost of me pursuing that goal, which is fine. No one no one has told you it's going to be easy. So you should be more than fine with that. Resistance takes on a lot of different forms, an insane amount of different forms, loads of these different narratives that it'll give you. It will disguise itself all the time, no matter the day. It will come to you in different forms, and it will try and get you. Like just now, today, it's tried to get me in a lot of different ways. First, it came in with perfectionism, then it came in with self doubt, and I just had to be conscious enough to be aware of what it's trying to do, acknowledge what this malicious force is trying to do. And just every time it keeps coming back in with different disguises, I just say, mate, what are you doing? I know what you're doing here. It's not going to work. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. You will make out, you will think of the task and you will think to yourself, wow, this task is going to be really difficult. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to suffer. I'm going to have to sit through the pain. Then I'm going to have to do this. There's so much to it. I have to think about all of these other things. You're suffering in imagination for no reason. In reality, when you actually sit down to start the task, the friction and the resistance starts to fade and it becomes easier. And then you start thinking to yourself, wow, why have I even been putting this task off for this long? It's not even that bad. Act regardless at speed to beat the enemy. This is the only way you will beat resistance. You will never beat resistance up here. In this battlefield here, you've got no chance. Resistance will always overpower you. It will always beat you. So instead of trying to battle it here, use your physical body. Take action regardless of the resistance at speed to actually overcome and beat the enemy. That is the only way.